Hello everyone, this is Resang the Drug Gamer and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last episode was rough to put it mildly. If you saw, you know why. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. Perfectly calm indeed, like a good boy. After venting on Vin all that anger that had bottled up inside me, it felt like a great weight has been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped on my mind for the past few weeks faded without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I am not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it, and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too, even more than my own behavior. Her reaction shocked me. I always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be so absolute and subjective. Absolutely subjective. As if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectivity and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you and start thinking outside of the mythical box, you are just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. I stepped through the door of the gallery to I stepped in the door to find a gallery full of illusioned people. Despite Say's remarks during my earlier visits, I just thought it was very spacious. But now when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped. I immediately noticed Say standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out of the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid on the tables along the back wall, filled with burgundy liquid. The vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. They brought alcohol here? Okay. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary objective of interest for most. I feel distanced, excluded from the other people here. I can't claim even at a stretch to be a social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just think that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. Wonder how Rin is settling all this. If it was me, I would be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I have seen being created at the club meetings after all, or remembering from the time Rin was choosing her portfolio. I noticed that a couple of the unfinished paintings are framed on the wall as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art? Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, became exhibits of her skill. Quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because, even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have even come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would. So, damn, sounds like I do the things I do because of some kind of instinctual properness compels me to. Not because it would be sensible. Or not. I sit closer to Say to wait for a lull in the conversation so I can chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she's a high schooler at a local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in. I thought it'd be interesting to have an exhibition of someone who is still in early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity. Even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. Everything here is small. In fact, there's a friend of mine from... It's a sow! My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap in the back. I don't need to guess the source of either, even without turning around. Hi, Emmy. Oh, that's new! By the way, we haven't seen Emmy since... Well, Rin... Then she complained about Rin telling her to not come. Hi! Are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know, really. I guess I am if that's the case. What about you? What about me? Hey, you didn't think I'm interested in art? Is that it, Hasao? No, that's not what I... Well, maybe a little, if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I never heard you talk about art with her, so... Emmy Hudson looks around her, looking discontented. She's here for Rin, Hasao! Stop being a dick. It's true. I don't get it at all. But she came to my checkmate, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. I am using Misha's voice. What was her voice? What was Emmy's voice again? She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only manages to look conspirating. Do you get art? No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing head shake draws a giggle and a cheeky head shake of her own out of enemy. Me neither! Hey, let's go talk with Rin! I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either! Come on! Before she has the chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomiya appears behind her with Rin in his tow. I have not seen Emmy's expressions like this before, it's kind of weird. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkept hair. Maybe her natural looks is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher! Hi, Rin! Unfazed, Emmy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusingly. Who are you? I'm Eddie, from school. Class 3-4, don't you remember? Ah, crap. Why can I not... Oh well, she looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry! You're the same class as Tetsuka's, right? Yeah! You'll have to pardon me. I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. Don't mind. Hi, Vin. Oh, hi, Vin! Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art thing! I'm sure you'll be a big hit! She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face! And look, Hasao came too! Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She kept averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Yeah, sandals. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that scandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. For long, Nomiya and Sei turn to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch a second of confusion when the guest sees her arms. Sei is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about our school. Doubtfully, faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling me something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you think of the difference between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble into abstraction. It would be interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet? Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Well, you've been pursuing a career as an artist after school? She's bombarded with so many questions, she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's the fifth worst. Rin keeps doubling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. It was waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question piling up adds to her distress. I failed to hear the question that is the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Oh shit! Red! Red just freezes for a long, long second until she falls on her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Oh, you're right? I don't know. Tetsuka! What's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. A tremble silence falls upon the people gathering around Ren. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to a sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps as if she were running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep walking. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I didn't wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sei, Emmy, and guests. Excuse us. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The streetlights and colored neon signs twist my vision into a blur of neo-blindlessness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we are talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin, but I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist, or that things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guests say invited her in there, but I wanted to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask you questions and stuff about those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? That someone wouldn't have to ask questions from me. But if you found someone like that, then what? Well, aren't you happy that people are interested in your paintings? This is the turning point. Depending on this will depend on the ending we get. Considering there is a good, bad, and neutral ending. Fun fact, on Haruko's path, if I didn't restart, I would have been on the bad path. Every single one I actually chose the worst option for. I knew they were bad, but I still went for it. What if she found someone that didn't want to ask questions? Or are you happy? But if you found someone like that, then what? Do you really think that it would be some kind of be-all, end-all thing? Star-crossed lovers and happily ever after? My question is met with a blank stare. The darkness in her eyes unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness. No, I don't think that. But at least, then I won't have to be alone. She whispers the words to the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway. I shouldn't have done this. Not yet. The exhibition? She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly out as if she proves she can, and continues talking to herself. Why? Wrong conjecture of the planets? No, not like that. I double-checked and I got up for the left foot. I did everything else left, right. It's me. I was wrong. She stands straight and shushes before stepping past me onto the street. Wait, where are you going? She stops on her tracks and turns around, looking at me quizzically. School, I'm leaving. What? Why? Because I want to be me. Rin walks off, leaving me behind utterly confused. Rin! But something she said really touched me. Maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. As if granting me a wish, Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I didn't have time to think what. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone. Even if you never met anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but either way, she doesn't react in any way. For the final time, she starts walking away from the gallery. So, where's Suzuka? Oh, for the final time. So, where's Suzuka? I can only shake my head, but this doesn't seem to be a sufficient answer. I have to say something. She ran away. What? The horrific realization spread on his face like wildfire. This is fiasco! Cast Why can't I say that? What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just ran off? And you! Why didn't you stop her? I ain't going to hold you personally responsible! She interrupts him, holding her hands up calmly. It's good she's intervening. The teacher was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. No, Shinichi. She probably just had a stage fright. I don't know her as well as few people do, but I get the image that she is somewhat peculiar. This kind of thing can happen. It'll be fine. I'll explain that she suddenly became ill. The guests will surely understand. But look around you. Everyone seems to be rather happy with their free wine and chit-chat. Because after all, that's all they care about at these exhibitions anyway. I guess we'll be fine, but we're missing on opportunities here. Networking makes contracts and acquaintances. The adults keep arguing about something that can't be helped. Amy tugs my sleeve to get my attention. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on! Well, we're going to find Vin and kick her ass. What? I can't believe it. She's so stupid. That Rin, how can she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have a bit of common sense in her head. Emmy is seriously angry, only missing steam rising from her ears. I guess I understand. Emmy is that kind of person. Give up has never felt like a part of her vocabulary. And maybe she feels it shouldn't be part of anyone's vocabulary. It's probably best to leave her alone for tonight. What? Are you a Vin expert now? She takes a firm stance and puts her hand up on her hips confidentially. I think she wants to pick a fight with me too. No, I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her ass would do any good. My melancholically remark surprisingly works, as Emmy slopes her shoulders a little and sighs. I know that. You do? The last time I did that, it changed nothing. Right back to school and an empty late-night bus is silent. What? Wait, so she's just gonna say that and did not tell us anything? Both of us keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. The nightly grounds are quiet, lit only by the wan moon and yellow lampposts. We say our goodbyes in front of my dormitory. Emmy reflectively clenches her fists, compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to go scold her. She looks at me, her eyes again flame with anger, that I match with as calmingly a stare as I can. It's only easy to face an angry woman if you're not the target of her ire. Yeah! After a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs, shakes her head in defeat. You are too nice, Sasao. Do you know that? Hints of a smile are tugging the corners of her mouth as she says that. She seems a lot more relaxed. What a sudden change of mood. Maybe she wasn't angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her moods change easily. Bipolar? If I was, I would have let you have your way. Does that mean you're the only one nice to Vin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes, but at least it puts me in a good mood. Emmy wriggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk, trying to push my buttons. Not going to work. Nah, it just means that I'm not nice only to you. Hey! Good night, Emmy. Why are you? Get back here! You're not supposed to say that to me! Ah! Let's finish this up. This might be a longer video, but I think this is going to be the final video. If not, it's going to be a super long video! The last day before summer vacation is waning slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we are free. The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. It might rain today. Who knows? I've already finished the test because it was pretty easy, so I'm doodling lazily on the flip side of the paper, waiting for Mudo to call time. Is that Yuko as a flower? Is that Kenji? What the hell is that? Rin. This prevents Misha from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. No cheating. What the? Is that an enemy tank? She might fool the inattentive teacher, but I can tell that she is trying to look. I guess it's her best bet at passing the test. Doesn't make me feel any mercy though, so I ignore her and look around me. It is quiet. The only sounds in the classroom are the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's constant coughing. It makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even over the holidays. Some will go back to their families. I don't know what I want to do. I should go buy a train ticket for my trip back home, but I can't bring myself to do it. I bet I'm going to get a call from home again. Mom's going to pester me about when I come back, and I'm not going to know what to answer. This is really lousy. In the current state of things with Rin, it feels like I can't just bail out of here, pretend we are though. We are through. Now she has other problems of her own. Thought that the exhibition opening would give her a breather, but I was sorely mistaken. The tangle just seems to thicken. A sharp knock on the door interrupts the quiet but frantic mood of the last 15 minutes of the exam. Come in! The opening door reveals the art teacher, who steps in with his jacket swirling around him as though in a gust of wind. He glances at Mudo, who glances back at him. A frown spreads simultaneously on both of their faces as the men measure each other with their gazes. Excuse me, can I borrow Mr. Nakai for a moment? Excuse me, Mr. Nomiya, but we are in the middle of an exam here. A chilly atmosphere suddenly spreads in the middle of the summer afternoon as the two men try to stare at each other down. This is urgent, and it seems that Nakai has already finished. Both men turn to look at me, staring at me like a pair of ballistics trying to petrify a tasty snack. It's true that I've been idle for a good while now, so Nomiya is right, but... Nakai, would you like to check your answers one more time? Mudo speaks with me with an odd intonation, weighing certain words as if trying to send a message. The pressure from the stairs makes me rapidly shake my head, but apparently interrupted as an answer of some sort. Very well, Nakai. Go with Mr. Nomiya, if you please. Take your bag with you and bring your test paper to my desk. You have a nice vacation. You too, teacher. The entire world, well, at least this classroom, seems to hold its breath just for me, putting the exam on hold while I stand up, collect my things, and walk to the door. What are these two histories? They clearly don't like each other. I can feel the stares in the back of my neck. My classmates probably think I'm in for some detention or something on the last day of the school before summer vacation. I don't know what the teacher wants from me, but I can guess it probably is not detention, and also that it probably has something to do with Rin again. She didn't return, did she? Nomiya doesn't take me anywhere, contenting himself with the hallway as it's completely abandoned. Do you know where Tezuka is? So she is trying to avoid the teacher. Par for the course. Probably. What if she realized that she can't avoid dealing with this indefinitely? I have no idea. You have probably asked her homeroom. You have probably asked in her homeroom next door. Of course I have! I have searched every nook and cranny of this blasted school and the girl's dorm! You're the last one to see her since yesterday, and you are her friend. Look with me here. Aren't you worried? I am, but I don't know what I could do. Ren did something incomprehensible yesterday, even for her. She seemed really confused. Maybe she just wants some time to think, then. I got the feeling that she had second thoughts about having this exhibition. Or something. She really didn't explain what was wrong. What second thoughts? I don't know. Just got the feeling. I am being a little dishonest with the teacher, but this is not something I should be meddling with. He came to me. Yes? Why? Maybe he thinks I'm some kind of confidant of Rin's, but I don't think I can help her with this matter. Did I already break this? Teacher tusts and scratches his head in confusion. What's up with that girl? This is so unlike her. She's always been so goal-driven. Goal-driven? Those don't really strike me as words to describe Rin. To me, she always felt obsessive at best. I don't want to be rude, but wasn't it you who pushed Rin into that direction in the first place? I know I helped a bit, but... Her goal is my goal. That is a mentor's job. I guess so. I just don't know if penning can make her happy. That's pretty preposterous of you to say, Nakai. He suddenly sounds pretty irate. Did I see something stupid?
You don't understand, do you? It is not a question of happiness. For every gain, there is a sacrifice to make. There's no free lunch, but would I let a girl waste her talent if she has a moment of doubt? Never! Painting is a work just like any other. Tezuka might make it to look like a child's play to you, but she works hard every day to make her art. To become extraordinary, one has to make an extraordinary effort.
The more the teacher talks, the more I feel like Rin doesn't think like that. Even though I have no idea how she thinks.
I can very well understand why she would sacrifice her summer vacation and make up for the lost classes and exams to get a chance at showing her art. This is a path she has taken, and to go all the way, that's not easy. I know she is young, and things are hard for just like her. Hard for her, just like all of the kids here in the school, but that's no excuse.
He is finished. But
do you have anything like what art is to Tezuka?
No. That's right. I only have vague ideas of my future. No goal to shoot for. No dream to blindly reach for. Joining the art club in such a something I could be interested in. Get inspired by. Did I find something like that? All I found in the end was Rin. No, I don't have a passion like that.
Then you can't understand.
His flat statement allows no counter-argument. But she might not understand even herself. Still, I carry on arguing, out of spite if for nothing else.
How could she not? She's been at it hard for so past few weeks that she put off even coming to school. Not to say anything about attending classes. Don't be ridiculous.
I don't think I'm being ridiculous, but as I have no rebuttal, Nomiya seems to consider this one his win.
At any rate, the opening was quite successful, despite Tezuka hardly showing up. Many people are interested in her work, and one piece was even sold for a reasonable price.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Yes, it's fantastic news! I hope that Tezuka will come to her senses when she heard about this, but...
He sighs and takes off his glasses, putting them against his jacket before putting them on his nose again.
At any rate, I should be going. Those are supposed to be subtle with saying, everyone. If you see Tezuka, please ask her to come see me. Otherwise, have a nice vacation.
Thanks. After he has disappeared around the corner, I ponder where Rin could really be. Feels like she has not one, but at least half a dozen of these secret places. Balance between the desire to solve this tangle and to drop it for good. Disused classroom is just a few feet away. What to do? The person opened the door, only the shadows greet me from the inside. Hey there. She's standing in the middle of the sunlit room, peering through the gasp of the curtains out into the yard. Like so often before, she doesn't start or jump, just calmly waits for me to make the first move. It's as if she's trying to become a permanent part of the furniture. The teacher's looking for you. A blanket look over her face is all I get, accompanied by a cryptic non-expression on her face. Are you looking for me too? Nah, I already found you, didn't I? Did you? She furrows her brow, looking so puzzled that it makes me wonder if the question was asked in all seriousness. Maybe it was. Are you talking metaphorically now? Do you mean like eels, caves, dark and stormy nights? I am bad at talking like that. The abruptly ended greetings give me the chance to close the door behind me and sit down on a dust-covered desktop. Rin stays standing, but at least she turns around. I sort of wish she didn't though. So oppressive is her expectant stare. This is her place, and I am an intruder, although a tolerated one. Despite that, she still waits for me to say something. If I only knew what. The sunlit silence presses me towards decisions. Came here without really thinking what I would do, apart from delivering Nomiya's short message in case Rin was here. She was, and now, I don't know what else to say. What else should I say? Hover between my options for a moment. Rin being troubled troubles me too. It's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was. Nothing I could do would probably help, and I might be partially to blame too. Does it mean I should just wash my hands of her? Didn't think so. So, what's wrong? Nothing. She starts to turn away again, as if trying to physically exit a conversation she doesn't want to have. Rin, stop trying to dodge me or I'll leave. Okay. Do you want me to leave? Are you still angry? To Gus, or was it only me? 10 seconds to swamp the conversation into this. I wish I could erase the past, or failing that, forget all about it. I wished for that more than once in the last few months. Let's put that aside for the time being, alright? If you say so. I do. So, what's wrong? Say and Normio were not too happy that you just ran off yesterday. You left them in quite a pinch, and I suppose the teacher was some kind of explanation. It seemed like you just threw out everything you had worked for. I don't get why. Did I make a mistake? My reprimanding and her flat answer goes so much against the usual expectations and presumed interactions that it might just as well be someone else talking. Neither of us is like we used to be. This stiff, constricting feeling I get every time I look at Rin nowadays seems to be mirrored in her own behavior. I hate things that go irreparably wrong. Ever since February, I hated them. What can I say? Her question is trailed by a compelling, quizzical stare that makes me sigh and frown. Conversations nobody wants to have are the worst. I don't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it probably was pretty stupid. She responds with a sigh of her own, although hers is not nearly as heavy as mine was. I just couldn't do it. But why? What's wrong? A pause, a furrowed brow, a quiet voice. Let it be, Hisao. I don't think I can really explain it in a way that would make sense. Yeah, Rin doesn't want to have this conversation either. That may be for the better. But how rare of her to admit that even she has some kind of limits. I always thought Rin was all but ignorant of her tendencies to get distracted so much that she inadvertently obfuscates everything she says. You never explain anything in a way that would make sense. Nobody has ever asked me to. I guess that's how it is. But I always wanted to make sense of you, to find out who you are. I still want to, can't you see? I know you can't, but I do. That way I keep this up, it pains you as much as it pains me. It's unlikely to be of any use either. We did things, and we said things that can't be undone. It's as if you and me being close to each other just hurts us both, that we still deliberately keep doing it. Isn't that silly? Even now, I can see how you force yourself to respond even though you owe me nothing. You know, it's hard to talk about things like this. Why? Why is it that you paint? Because I don't know what else I could do. It's like this feeling that there is no choice. That's the only possibility. Like when there were only watermelon flavored popsicles left in the store, but you need to eat a popsicle. Her poor metaphor aside, she didn't really answer anything. If possible, this makes even less sense than not knowing. But if you don't want to paint, not like that. You had to come to the school even though you probably didn't want to have a heart attack. She paused, frowning as if something in what she said didn't please her. At least I think you wouldn't. She carefully followed in turn by another shorter pause with another smaller frown. Would you like to have a heart attack? No, I wouldn't, and I didn't want to. But you're doing fine, aren't you? Why are you so sad about it? This question makes me realize that I haven't really thought about my illness for weeks. Yeah, and we were supposed to have freaking bi-weekly checkups. Aside from chugging down my medication every day, there has been no need to concern myself with my broken heart, which I'm only thankful for, really. Getting to know new people, a new school, a new town, a new life, it all has caught me and made the past fade away. No, I guess even I can't dwell on the past indefinitely. See, even watermelons don't really taste bad if you have to eat it. Her half-nonsensical closure seems to put an end to the subject in Rin's mind, Rin just nodded in uncertain confirmation. There are two kinds of silences. Awkward ones that you want to break, and comfortable ones that you don't mind. The first kind is bad because it makes your thoughts go away, like mine do. Now, looking at Rin makes me feel bad. I don't want to feel like this. Looking at Rin makes me feel exhausted. I really tried my best. She tried to. I have no idea. But we ended up like this, and she ended up screwing up her exhibition opening. Feels like we are at a dead end. There's no direction to continue to. I reached out for her yesterday, thinking it would be the last time. She walked away. I want to be me. What the heck does that even mean? Rin, if anyone, is most definitely herself. I feel kind of relieved that I am not the only one to blame, but this still grates on my mind. Why did she run away? It didn't make sense yesterday. It doesn't make sense today. The things she said feel like they should make sense, but they just don't. To me. You know, about that thing you just said? Which one of them? Painting. Say said something like that to me before. That a true artist does not paint because she wants to, but because she must. I've been wondering what she said. Why do artists have to paint? The question is probably pretty stupid. At least Rin looks at me in the blank way that seems to say so. I don't know. Am I an artist? Well, you paint stuff and you have an exhibition too. I say you qualify. I think I still don't know, but okay. Thinking pause that follows seemed to last for half a century. Eternity. Unlike most people, Rin doesn't flavor her thinking pauses by body language or saying like or anything. I've noticed that I might prefer her way. The unusual way even annoys me, as if people were so infatuated by the sound of their own voice that they just have to keep making some noise, even when they are just thinking what they could say next. Rin just comes to a full stop while she's thinking. It's disconcerting because reacting to people spacing out is always hard, but she comes off as less obnoxious. I think I want someone to see what's inside me, not the way doctors or serial killers do. The way that doesn't make me feel lonely. This is what you call metaphorical, you see? Please don't lecture me about self-evident things. It's not self-evident that it is self-evident. So you present a painting to someone and expect him to magically see a glimpse of your soul? It's not like that. It's just a little like that, but not really. Don't you understand? I do, and I don't. You know, I feel a little bit of despair every time you ask that question. What question? About whether I understand you or not. She's almost surprised by my clarification. Oh, it's not really a question. It's one of those things that you don't have to answer. Rhetorical. Yeah, that's the word. A question that is not a question is a rhetorical question. How nice. That reminds me. It doesn't really make any sense, but what kind of question is one that isn't a question? A rhetorical one. What kind of answer is an answer that doesn't answer anything? Is that a rhetorical question? You are not funny. But if you don't like it, would you like me to say something else instead? I don't have any good ones though. How about your pants are on fire? This one can be our secret language. Rin's honest to goodness silliness made it twice almost ridiculous by the fact that I know she said serious derails me like it always does. It's like some kind of safety lock to prevent me from becoming too much of a worrywart, dragging even my own thoughts off of the ground where they should be. Makes me smile confusedly, but only on the inside. Even though the corners of my mouth are not drawing into a grin, I'm still impressed by her ease of wrecking any attempt to being too serious. Could she, should she will so, forget and ignore things that bug her, things that bother her? Could she, should she will so, be free of whatever burden being her means? Or am I the only one who feels burdened by being myself? No thanks. But still, the times when I feel that I am on the same page as you are pretty rare. Feels like there's a huge gap, and sometimes you just go to the other side, and I don't have any way to reach to you from where I am. It's like you are in some completely different place at times, even though you're right here. That's right. There's an insurmountable discontinuity, imagining glass that blocks comprehension from happening. There might be such a gap between any two people, but with Rin, it feels more tangible. Rin does not react to my thoughts, not to the ones I utter aloud, nor the ones I did not. It's even worse with art. I'm not very good at art, I admit it. I joined the art club because I thought it could be interesting. And I guess it is. I like art, I like your art too, but just like with you, I can't comprehend it. I'm pretty sure nobody really can. It seems to worry her slightly. Do you think so? Yeah, I guess that art is meant to be interpreted, not understood. That's how I put it. That's a sad thought. I guess it might feel like one. Does it make you feel sad for yourself? Vin thinks about this for a while, and then shakes her head surprisingly. Yeah, her head surprisingly vehemently. First thing she focuses her eyes on afterwards is me. Both of these things make me glad and relieved. That's good, isn't it? Anyways, should you go see the teacher and apologize properly? I think he is worried about you. Can you do that? This time she nods her head. Only it's not as vehemented. The hallway is empty, almost intimidating. Nomia's office is the art classroom at the other end of the third floor hallway. Our steps echo disturbingly. The atmosphere is unlike on a normal afternoon. Feels like the school knows that nobody will come back for a month too. That door is opened, but not very inviting. I'll, wait outside. Nodding barely noticeably, Rin strides in without stopping, and naturally, without knocking. Maybe that's why it takes a few seconds before I hear the teacher's voice from inside.
There you are!
Hello! A conflict arises. Should I stay here or go somewhere else? I'm not sure if I even want to eavesdrop on them. Manners lose to curiosity, and so I stay close enough to listen in. Their voices echo in the hallway, but no matter. There's nobody around, save for me.
Dear God, what on earth were you thinking? Leaving like that on a big night?
I couldn't say anything. We had a Nomia's scolding tone. Rin's is awfully quiet and withdrawn. Her words seem to drown under his.
I have to say, I am very disappointed in you, Tezuka.
It was no good at all.
Never mind all the things I did for you, but what else say? What about all the guests who wanted to meet you?
There was nobody, even Hisao.
You have embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka. Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that.
It's alright, I don't need it.
Don't need? What do you think you know?
Rin's replies only seem to agitate the teacher more, his voice rising with every sentence.
The path of an artist is a thorny one. I'll tell you that. Thorny! You have to see the big picture. There will be bad times and good times.
Things are like they are. It'll be alright, even.
You might not think that it's oh so wonderful and easy, but how far would you have gotten without me? I won't always be there for you. When you lie on the floor of your minuscule room, you went 3 weeks late. Your mind blank for the 4th week straight, and then you will wish that you had listened to old Normia a bit more. When you keep measuring how the shadow of your chair becomes longer over the spring, because that's all your lethargy allows, maybe that's when you'll start caring about your career.
That doesn't matter.
Your resolve is not enough.
I am not a resolved person.
You are not a resolved person. Then tell me, why do we go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito shit?
Oh, dear. The teacher blew a fuse. Him yelling at Rin makes me feel bystander's guilt. If I'd gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If I had not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. I still could go and save her. Don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Rin too, and I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. I felt justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt it was her fault, and I was so frustrated. I was no more justified than the teacher is. Terrible silence sits upon the hallway. Rin does not say anything to Nomiya. Whether she has run out of answers, or she knows that arguing would only make him angrier, it's anyone's guess. The teacher has nothing more to say either, it seems. Maybe he just ran out of breath. For a moment, I imagined the two of them staring at each other, one full of red hot anger, the other full of... Yes. What? I can't tell how Vin feels. Not before, not now. He just seems to expect Vin to say something too, but since she doesn't, he finally continues in quieter but less angry voice.
What worth is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing?
Still, Vin will not say anything.
I'm sorry. I should have gotten so excited.
He does not sound sorry at all. Rather, his tone is cold and sharp, like he was spitting the words out of his mouth.
It seems I was expecting too much. You are not an artist after all.
Yeah, not sorry at all. He swims out of the club room and down the stairs without noticing me. After he's gone, I peek carefully inside the classroom. Ren is standing there in front of the teacher's desk. I couldn't say I'm sorry. She says in the humid air of the classroom, not to me. Since the room won't answer her, I will have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still. Can't decide how to end my sentence. Disdaining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. Stupid, but correct in hindsight. Rin won't answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. She stood up for herself. In a way I didn't expect. You can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way, she did it. Against me, she never did. Oh shit. Sorry, but that something popped up. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way, she did it. Against me, she never did. I sort of wish she had. Maybe I would not feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Rin? Go away. Why? What are you saying? You're angry with me too, right? I thought you were my friend. I thought he was too. Voice is unlike I've ever heard before. It's bitter, sharp like needles, and she keeps staring pointedly at her toes. I don't think it's about that. He wanted you to be something you are not, and... Take a deep breath and finally catch her eyes in my own, locking our gazes. I'm sorry. I want us to be something too, more than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and became so frustrated, just like the teacher did. What more? Is there nothing more to me than me? That's all I am. I don't understand that. Well, the answer should be obvious, right? Remember myself thinking of the purpose of friendship. To put up with everything and anything, to be there for your friend. Did I fail as a friend? Thinking it could be a stepping stone for something else? Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things to keep it together. And as outrageous as Rin is and was, I shouldn't have let myself get caught into that. Especially when I started feeling the way I did towards her. So, did I fail? That's what her eyes seemed to ask. I'm sorry, Rin. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. I say these things because they are true, and because one of us would have liked to hear them. But they are something that must be said. The finality of my words creates a shaken silence. But what could either of us add to that? Why? Why does all this happen? People are doing things I don't ask for, and don't want, and everyone keeps getting angry at me. I have no idea what is going on anymore. I can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything. Shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. Eyelids open, all I can see is a dark green dispersion. I have no idea what's wrong with me. A projected outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat, we just gaze into each other's eyes. Seeing her confused eyes desperately looking for answers from mine only makes me sad, because I know I have none. I don't know either. But you know, you yourself said that things are not right nor wrong. They just are. Either accept them, work to change them, or give up. It's not that I hate you, or that teacher Nomia does. I just think that I'm the kind of person who gives up when he feels he can't go on. Even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruelly things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard certainty. I can see them hitting Vin almost like physical blows. As the wetness gathers into the corners of her eyes, they are still wide with the shock of rejection. The tears start rolling down her pale cheeks. She does nothing to stop them. They fall down on the floor one by one. She stands still, staring at me with a gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Ren steps forward as if she was inflating, and buries her face as deep in my shirt as she can. Ren is heavy and feather light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. And I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders in a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Vin's vertebrae against my fingertips, like hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things are. Her slim shoulders quivering against my palm is a pitiful sight. The hopelessness of being part of the cause for Vin's sadness keeps shredding my heart. To make a girl cry is the most despicable thing to do. Even Vin, especially Vin. Behind that veil of aloofness, Vin is just a human being too. Just as confused, scared, and lost as any of us. Most of the time, it seems that there is no rhyme or reason for what Vin does and says, but for once, I think I really understand how she feels. But no words can express it, and no words can make it better. So, wordlessly, we stay, quietly waiting for tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slow. Even the lazy specks of dust floating in the air seems to pause into a standstill. The obligatory wall clock is ticking distractingly from above the door. I decided against counting the seconds, because it'll make them feel longer. Eventually, Vin stirs a little and still smothering herself against her cheeks, but turns into my shot. Let me be here for a while. Please, Sasao. Just give me a little while. A soothing deluge spreads into my consciousness. The knowledge that while being here for Rin is all I can do for her, that's all she wants right now, even after we've gone through. Sure. So she stays there. I still can't bring myself to draw her closer so I can embrace her properly. It's because doing it would make me feel so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization that we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the other crystallizes into our mind as a diamond hard enlightenment. A pang surges through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. This clarity hurts. What can we do for each other? What meaning is there for us desperately cling to each other, even though it seems so futile? What should I say to Vin? How can I make her feel better? I do not know any of those things, and I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all of that out of my mind, because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truths. My thoughts calm down soon enough. The sadness disperses until all that is left is me and Vin, and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my cheeks. When did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was before the warm touch of her lips on my own. On that orange-colored afternoon when she was sick with a cold and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Her carefree attitude, the air of otherness around her, all the things that make Rin herself. Those things captured me with irresistible force. The way she could take in anything and everything, giving it only the value she herself placed, weighing all things fairly, without prejudice, seeing the world as she wanted. This is something I could never do, and Rin probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. She seems so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I constantly worry about everything. Seemed so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched so tightly onto Ren. Trying to, oh, trying to get inside her world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force had pulled me dangerously close to her. But it turned out to be way too alien for me. And I forgot to Newton, of all things. The gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the objects. So if two people feel something for each other, Even though feelings are not governed by the constants of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some reason now, I've been a satellite to Rin's brightly shining planet. Planet Rin. The thought makes me almost laugh. She really does seem to be from another planet at times, minus green skin and possibly some tentacles. Perhaps because of my stifled laughter, Rin pulls away and I let her go, feeling the cold when her warmth goes away, and slightly embarrassed for letting my thoughts run wild like that. I credit that as Rin being a better influence on me, while being glad at the same time that she can't read thoughts for real. Rin's bitter tears had dried up, and she looks a little more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there, though. Her gaze wanders around relentlessly before stopping at me. What happened just now? Can you tell me? What? What do you mean? I cried. She says that hesitantly, as if not believing it herself. Yes. She keeps staring at me, as if pleading guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost. Why? You were sad. Is that what you want me to say? But isn't that obvious? I don't know. It feels weird to cry. What? I don't believe it. I mean, everybody does it. It's not. I bit my tongue before I finished my argument about normality. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to. It always felt so wrong, different from what it is in me. Like I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who is wrong. I thought those kinds of things. I thought that painting was enough because I felt that I did at least that right. That all that is inside me can become a picture if I tried really hard. And it could. But it doesn't feel like it's enough anymore. Because if nobody else can see that, I will still be alone. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got angry at me for that. I've rarely heard Vince saying this much at once before. Once she finishes, she simply shuts up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she just said what she did. Don't know what to think. Rin was desperate for someone to look at her paintings, somehow see right through them into her soul, to understand her feelings. Because she felt she could not express them in any other way. How can one say whether that is right or wrong? Could it be that all this time she's been trying to reach out to me, like I've tried to reach out to her? Down on the desk to think, and to rest my legs that kept both of us standing for a long while. You know, when I read a good book or look at the starry night sky, or whatever, sometimes I too feel something profound. Like a... shoot, I don't know how to describe it. The instant I try to put it into words, I feel that I lose something. It doesn't feel as real, as true as it did inside my head. It feels a bit phony. Damn, even what I just said felt phony. I have a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating. Everyone doesn't react. Anyway, it might be that nobody can express their true feelings so that others might understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that. Not even your paintings. Except, maybe for you. But I suppose you can't keep everything inside. You'd explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings. Even if you use painting as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you any better than they would if you did it any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. It's because everything is so subjective. You see, the world the way you do, but it's different for everyone else. But isn't that terrible? I guess it is, in a way. She frowns, looking probably as stricken as she can, which is not much, but it's enough for me to understand that Rin is not particularly happy. I think it might make me sad after all. Yeah, I know. I wish I could do something to help it. I don't think I sound bitter, even though I am. A little. This is problematic. I cannot be what Rin wants for her. But for some reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wanted to say. So Rin has times when it's hard to say anything too. It can't be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes me feel a little better. It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at times like this. Like how Rin's voice is very, very small, barely audible when she says that. and how even her sharp bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downwards. How come they can't cover the deep red color within her cheeks and all the way to the tip of her ears? They turn into a very interesting shade of red. A deafening silence follows. Very awkward, as if I saw someone that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it wasn't on purpose. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. Still, I feel like there's no momentum to lose, even if we kept silent. I create some weird, wordless connection that would hold even so. Rin keeps shifting her weight from one foot to the other, restlessly looking everywhere around the room except at me. She's the only one who finally breaks the spell. Can we go? I don't want to stay here. Oh, yeah, of course. Where? Her reply is covering my nervousness, as badly as her question is covering hers. You can go wherever you like. I want to sleep. Haven't really slept for a few weeks. Feels like there's a flock of light blue butterflies inside my head. It makes it hard to think properly. The kind that you think is too blue to really exist. Like... She shakes her head, and I almost expected a couple of ultramarine-colored morphos to pop out of her ears. A small smile tugs upwards as the corners of her mouth. That reminds me. The blue, not the... The word for a flock of butterflies is a swarm. I looked it up. That makes my eyebrows raise into a questioning arc. Why don't you use it then? I like the other word better. I looked it up in the first place then. Then you should use it, right? She nods and falls silent, her gaze escaping mine to the side, attracting by the dark orange sunlight reflecting from the windows. We stay like that for a little while, me silently looking at her, silently looking out the window. Hey, you alright now? She glances at me from the corner of her eye, looking wistful again. Sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings. I need to think about that. I want to continue this conversation, grasping at those straws that she finally revealed to even exist. But Rin is looking out the window so absent-mindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any way that would make sense. It looks like some kind of defense mechanism of hers to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like a butterfly itself, always fluttering somewhere away wherever it stood. Just when I thought I could see behind her veil, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Rin is. Maybe we just need a giant butterfly neck to get her. Maybe that's something I should just accept to get some peace of mind. Okay. I'll get back to the dorms then. Thanks. Really. The empty hallways of the school, devoid of its students, feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways are footsteps. The change is sudden, but it shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers. It's as though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I think I have to change, she said out of the blue while we were walking down the staircase from the third floor, still managing to feel like she is mirroring what I was thinking about before. That's what people must do, sometimes. That's the last thing we say to each other that day, even though there would be so much more to talk about. Even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as if they were never said. I'm gonna end it here because I made a miscalculation. Jesus, this is a super long video. I'm gonna have to likely cut this video up and then paste this here because this is almost a video in and of itself. But we still have some more stuff here, so that's all for this time. This is Recycling the Jug Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the series so far, and I'll see all you guys again next time. See you guys!